Everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today, of course, we got a brand new trailer of Obi-Wan Kenobi. It is Star Wars Day, May 4th. And yeah, so this morning I recorded my review of Moon Knight, right? Like right after watching it. And then, of course, I go to work, and then around 9 or 10, they drop the Obi-Wan trailer. And look, just like with Thor, I'm not going to be able to not watch it. You know, because then I'll basically have to avoid social media and the internet for the rest of the day if I want to stay spoiler free. So rather than try and do that, I just went ahead and watched it. So I've already watched the trailer. Of course I have. But we are going to go ahead and watch it again. And we're going to like kind of pause and go step by step. And I know, look, and this is the thing, is trailers like this used to come out at like 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. And now they're all coming out at like 8 in the morning, which is bad for me because obviously I'm at work. Like a lot of people, I'm already at work at that point. So, you know, it's like either avoid the internet the entire day, you know, or just you'll be like the last person to do a reaction to it, you know. So it's like, fine, here we are, last person in the world to be reacting to this. But yes, of course, I've already seen it, and let's go ahead and just go. Okay, we see our little city planet here. I feel like we have gotten the name of this planet. Sorry for the pause. Get our Inquisitors. They look good. They look good in better lighting, I think. Of course, a lot of these shots we have seen in the other teaser.
Leave us alone. When the time comes, he must be trained. Like you trained his father?
Yeah, a lot of people. I mean, that's definitely the relationship that they have. You know, that old man is just some crazy old wizard. Nah. I like the way this looks. You know, I'll say something else. Like this show has some like really big set pieces. Like it looks like an expensive show. Got some purge troopers. Some droid, Kumail, right? Of course, we get our Vader arm and the chest piece, which I did not know. I didn't know that's how the chest piece plugs in. To be honest with you, I thought that was just always kind of on the outside of the suit, but nope, plugs right in. He's like a wall outlet. Okay, so. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and mute that. Let's go ahead and go through all this, just kind of step by step. So we're gonna be pausing as we go here. Okay, so this ship here, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't think this is meant to be one of the Inquisitor's ships. It doesn't look like that. It looks maybe like a public transport, or maybe this is just some personal shuttle that Obi-Wan's using to get to this planet. Now. This city planet, we've seen it several times. We've seen it in some of the magazine, exclusive photos and all that stuff. Why is he going here? There's a lot of rumors and stuff like that. If I had to guess, long rumored that Princess Leia, a young Leia, is going to be in the show, and she's gonna be like one of the main drives of the plot, like something happens and she's the reason why Obi-Wan goes on this adventure. So if I had to guess, she gets kidnapped or taken or used as bait, maybe to get Obi-Wan to come out by someone, maybe the Inquisitors or maybe someone else, and gets taken to this planet, and that's why Obi-Wan comes here. Because I can't think of any other reason why he would be here in this planet. Let's see. So a lot of stuff to break down there, and they look pretty good here. They're, and we keep saying this, but like the Inquisitors, it's gonna take time to get used to them. They look very different. Even like from a other live action comparison, species wise, they just look different. We'll get used to it. That's all I can really say. I do like their shuttle that they have. So they just kind of line everyone up. So they must have gotten word of Obi-Wan somehow, you know. And we'll kind of get a guess on that. And of course, yeah, these two, you know, they've always had like this kind of, you know, or at least, you know, from Owen Lars, he's always kind of had like this antagonistic kind of view on Obi-Wan, you know, because he's like, look, Anakin went with you when he was a kid, and then he turned evil, and maybe I don't know, like, do they, I have to assume that they were told the whole story, right? Like, they must have been told that Anakin turned evil, right? Unless they were told that he dies. I don't, you know what I mean? Because they have that one line in A New Hope, like, oh, he's just like his father, and Owen's like, that's what I'm afraid of. But it's like, it's always been kind of like, so do they know? Do they not know? I don't know. It's interesting. And the other thing is, like, Obi-Wan's saying this here now. Luke is 10, and he's like, when the time comes, the boy must be trained. So it's like, I guess my other thing is like, so what is Obi-Wan waiting on? You know, because he's not asking to train him now. He's just saying that eventually I do want to train him. So I am wondering, like, did he and Yoda like have a conversation where it's like, hey, let them grow up, let them, you know, because traditionally, of course, the Jedi start getting trained when they're like 3, you know, like, and they're taken away from their parents and they're just raised in the temple. So you do have to wonder, what is it that's making Obi-Wan wait, you know, because he doesn't seem to be asking to train him immediately. But of course, Owen doesn't want him trained at all, ever. Which, you know, it's totally fair from Owen's point of view, right? Like, Luke is essentially his son. He literally has raised him since he was a baby. Literally a baby, right? So, for all intents and purposes, Luke is his son that he's been raising, and you got this crazy Jedi who's like, hey, one day we're gonna do some training, and we're gonna take on the Empire, you know, and Owen's like, I don't think so. So it, you know, totally fair from his point of view. Now this is interesting here. Like, we've seen hangars before, like on Star Destroyers and stuff, but like, see the ties, they're like hooked up to the ceiling on these rails up here. I don't think we've ever seen something like that. You know, they're usually like up against the walls, but these are like up on the ceiling. That's pretty interesting. Now here I was kind of wondering, like, well, first, you know, another shot of the Inquisitors, which, you know, I think they all look a lot better here, and I think it's just our brains getting used to, especially like the 5th brother. He doesn't, you know, obviously you have a human being in makeup and not a CG face, you know, but like, our brains are getting more and more used to it. Something I was kind of wondering at this shot though, like, why is their table, their little data display here, they're all like looking down at the table where all this information's being displayed. Why is it not a hologram? Right? Like, in Star Wars, isn't it always like the table just like projects a hologram up and everyone just kind of like looks at the hologram that's being projected from the table? But now it's like a screen that's on the table instead of, you know, I know that's like a small, like, who cares kind of thing, but it is interesting, isn't it? Like, like, isn't this normally a hologram? Why is this like on a screen here? Kind of weird. And yeah, if you look at the back right of the screen right here, if you look to the right, you can see they have a display case, which, you know, from here, obviously very blurry, very far away. It looks like they have a bunch of lightsabers just in a display case back there. So maybe it's like trophies from Jedi they've hunted down, you know, which that definitely seems like something the Inquisitors would do. So let's keep on going. So going with the Eope, I think that's what they're called. And this is them launching out of their station. And so here you can see, you know, they're talking about how they want to sick all the bounty hunters on Obi-Wan and other Jedi, right? Which totally makes sense, right? So she can see this blaster fight going down in this city, which I think we actually get to see. Oh, that's pretty funny. It makes sense that, like, the latest, you know, the latest image they have of Obi-Wan, of course, on record is from Revenge of the Sith, right? Like, that's the only one that the Republic / Empire would have. So totally makes sense that that's why he looks like that. But yeah, I think this is that same fight, right? They're on the rooftops, and of course everyone's saying like this is Forlom or Forlom, or however you actually are supposed to say his name. Now, if he is here, you know, of course, famous bounty hunter from Empire Strikes Back, so Forlom's here, one has to imagine that Zuckuss is also going to be there, because they're usually paired together, you know. And I think it all started with the original Kenner line. Their names got mixed up in the printing of the toys, so Forlom's name was on the Zuckuss toy, and vice versa. So I think in a lot of different media, Forlom and Zuckuss always get paired together, especially because, you know, obviously they look very similar. You know, the one's an android who is insectoid, and the other one is an actual alien species insect thing. I don't know if it's supposed to be that Zuckuss actually owns Forlom, like that's his droid, or if they're just partners. But you have to imagine he's not far away, right? Let's see, actually. In fact, let me see. If we can see where that blaster bolt went. Okay, never mind. No, that's... Okay, we see a yellow one hit him. Oh, go toward... Yeah, okay, yellow one's... Okay, so he's got the yellow shot. Which is interesting then, right? Because actually look at what's happening here. So, who he's shooting at there had yellow blasters, but Forlom here has red blasters. Right, so he's shooting at someone else entirely. So maybe that's Zuckuss. So Forlom has red, and the guy that Obi-Wan's fighting here has yellow. So, you know, it's some tricky editing going on, but yeah, it's definitely someone else that he's shooting out there. Now, what's happening here, I cannot honestly say. He is fighting. He's wearing different clothes. In fact. Actually, what's this on his collar here? Obi-Wan's got something around his neck. I don't know what that is. Some kind of pouch, looks like. Anyways, he's fighting what looks like just random thugs. These don't even seem to be bounty hunters. They just look like, you know, random hoodlums. Maybe they're trying to mug them. I don't know. That's interesting. And of course here we get some purge troopers. Now some people were kind of concerned because it looks like they were redesigned, and I think they were a little bit, but you can actually see it looks like the one on the left has a slightly different armor than the one on the right. Some people have speculated that maybe the purge trooper on the left is a female purge trooper, which is possible. And I believe the idea, actually now that I think about it, maybe it's not possible, because I believe the idea is, are the purge troopers not all supposed to be clones? Wasn't that an established thing in the comics, actually? Huh. Or maybe that was just like the first batch of purge troopers. Maybe they've, obviously it's been 10 years, right? So they would have aged, any clones would have aged 20 years, right? So maybe they're not clones anymore. I don't know. In any case, I am glad that we're seeing them at all, even if they look a little different, because that was my thing in the first teaser. I was like, well, that's kind of weird, right? Like, they, both in the comics and in the video game Fallen Order, they went through the trouble of, like, you know, having some corporate synergy and, like, introducing these Inquisitors with their purge troopers, and then, you know, it'd be super weird in the first live-action depiction to not have them. Yeah, so that's kind of... Anyways, I'm glad they're here, is my point. And yeah, you can see he's taken out a couple of stormtroopers, and you can see a probe droid in the back. So, you know, Obi-Wan's getting to work. And now we get this droid of some kind. It looks like he's fighting some stormtroopers. Now, who is this character? Why is he a friend of Obi-Wan's, or is he something else entirely? Let's see. Yeah, very quick shots, so we don't really know what's going on there. And of course we have Reva, who, you know, look, there's like a couple of leaks and rumors and stuff going on about, like, oh, this is actually what the show is about. And look, here's my thing. I have no doubt that the show is going to be more involved and have like more stuff going on than what we assume is happening. Okay? Like I think we assume that like, oh, it's just about Obi-Wan and then he goes and fights Vader and that's it. But no, there's probably so many other things happening in the show. So Reva is going, well, first of all, she's the only Inquisitor who's getting a name, so that should tell you something. Like, her character's more than just another Inquisitor. But it's been rumored that Reva is going to be a character of significance, and of course some people on the internet got all whiny about that, saying no other character can have screen time, only Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, no other character. I'm like, guys, there's gonna be a lot of characters and each of them will have screen time. It's gonna be okay. Calm down. Also, something else I want to point out, she is seemingly getting shot at in the same location that has the TIE fighters. Remember I mentioned earlier the TIE fighters are on the roof on those rails. Well, this is the same location that she's getting shot at, so something's happening at that location, if that's that Inquisitor headquarter area. So it looks like that comes under attack at some point. And here we have Kumail Nanjiani. I think that's how you say his name. Obviously he's been in so many things. Now it, look, yes, he's wearing a brown robe and a light colored white tunic looking thing. It's possible that these are Jedi robes, at the same exact time though. I have to remind everyone that, like, in the original Star Wars on Tatooine, Uncle Owen wore what many would consider to be Jedi robes because that they were in the desert, and that's just what they wore in the desert. It was not established that that's actually Jedi clothing until later, so I don't know. So I just, while it's definitely possible that he's playing a Jedi here, I don't want to come out and be like, oh, he just turned out to be a guy and everyone's all disappointed because he wasn't a Jedi. He's going to be playing someone of importance, because you don't get an actor that big name and not have him do something important, obviously. But who knows? He could be a Jedi, but he might not be. I just don't want people to get like hung up on that idea and then, he's just a guy. Now this robot here, this is of course we always have an R2 or a BB-8 or a Baby Yoda or something. So this is like another little, looks like a tiny little cute toy that they can sell, which is perfectly fine. That's always just been part of Star Wars, sell the toy, right? Pretty interesting. Some people, this is rumored, of course, again a rumor, that since Princess Leia is rumored to be involved, some people are saying that this droid is actually a small little sidekick that Leia has. So is this Princess Leia's hand? Maybe. It could be possible. All right, let's see. So she's running. Now, interesting thing here also, I want to point out. In this part of the trailer, she's like running at Obi-Wan and yelling. So she must have like just missed him. Like if she's running towards this shuttle and is leaving, like she must have just missed Obi-Wan. And of course we get this awesome shot of Vader being put together. I'm sure we're gonna get like a whole assembly line kind of thing, like Iron Man-esque, of like each of his parts being put on, which that's really cool, and of course more footage of probably the inside of the Inquisitor base. A bunch of these stormtroopers are like drawing their guns, so something happens here. I don't know what, but something happens where like Reva has her lightsaber out and these troopers are all pointing their guns, so like some kind of confrontation goes on. And of course this, which you gotta look at the like, those are like 4-inch spikes that are going into his abdomen, lung, chest area there. Like you never, I mean, we always knew, like, obviously, he's more machine than man now, right? Like, we know, but when you really think about it, it's like not just his limbs and not just like his skin being burned off, but like a lot of his internal organs and a lot of like the inside parts are probably like completely screwed. And you know what I mean? Like, you think about like Darth Vader is like just a walking just mess. There's just so much happening in Darth Vader. It's crazy. And of course it turns on, and that's really cool. And then you know, Obi-Wan, I imagine that he's hearing something or he's seeing something. Yeah, something that's making him go like, oh my god. Maybe he's sensing the presence of Darth Vader approach. Something like that. But yeah, either way, we get a lot of cool shots, but we still don't get a lot of like plot elements. Like we still don't know what is the actual premise of the show, like what happens to kickstart events. Just nothing but rumors, and those rumors are old at this point. Like those rumors are like you know, at least like 2 years going back of like the, oh, Leia's gonna be in it and she gets kidnapped or something, you know, like that's going back like 2 years ago. So who knows what's possibly changed or what was never even in the show in the first place. I like that we know so little, but yeah, looks really cool. I'm really excited. And of course, what is it, the 27th, I think, is the Friday that we're gonna get 2 episodes dropped. Now look, everyone wants these episodes to be an hour because we're only gonna get like 6 of them. I am gonna bet that they're probably closer to 40-45 minutes or so. But hey, it would be awesome if they were both an hour, and it's just like it's essentially a movie length that we get to watch on that first Friday. Now, of course, and I've said this before, but I will be going to Celebration that Saturday, which means I'll be in a hotel room. I'll be not with my computer, so when I watch the show, I will not be able to do a review right away. I think the most I can try to do is film something on my phone and try to kind of cobble together something, and I'll be speaking into my headphones, the microphone of my headphones. So it'll be, you know, kind of a trashy review that I do for those first 2 episodes, anyways. But you know, hey, what else can you do? And maybe I'll try and film some Celebration footage and put that with my review. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah. Anyways, I'm super excited, and let me know your thoughts. Let me know your questions and your ideas and your little theories of what could possibly happen in this show. Let me know what you're most excited for, actually. Like, are you most excited just to see Vader again, or are you excited for some of the other stuff that like you don't know what else is happening? Because here's my thing, is that like it would be pretty easy for them to just make it Obi-Wan fights Darth Vader, and then all the pieces of the puzzle go back to where they need to be, right? Because we know Obi-Wan has to end this on Tatooine, and Vader has to end this not knowing that Obi-Wan is alive and not knowing anything about Luke. And we know that certain Inquisitors, at least a handful of them, have to go on to Rebels, where they're not looking for Obi-Wan. They don't know about Luke. So we know a couple of these pieces have to be in certain places. I'm excited for what we don't know, because they've come up with some crazy things where it's like, oh, we didn't even think that they could do that, but actually that fits in the continuity perfectly. So I'm kind of excited to see like those kind of things. Yeah, anyways, let me know your thoughts, let me know what you're excited for, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.